Multi-vector integration is Kazakhstan's chosen course of development, and the program, Single Market. When the going gets tough, what's important is not only who you are, but who you're with. This is the motto of today's program. Hello, my name is Pavel Koktishev. In today's episode, prospects, Kyrgyzstan one step away from Eurasian integration. Rules of the game, the best way to protect intellectual property within the framework of the new union. Cloud computing technology, how it really works. School of the market, cluster approach, the experience of Kazakhstani enterprises. Kyrgyzstan is the nearest southern border and one of the most stable trade and economic partners of Kazakhstan. In the last 3 years, trade turnover between the countries has been maintained at the level of $1 billion. At the same time, there are 250 joint enterprises operating in Kazakhstan, and in Kyrgyzstan, there are more than 400. With the entrance of Kyrgyzstan into the Eurasian Economic Union, which will happen de jure in the next few days, the countries will not only be sharing borders, but will also become allies in the Eurasian integration project. Our correspondent from Bishkek has more on the story. Kyrgyzstan is only a few days away from joining the Eurasian Economic Union. The official date was announced last year by the president of the Kyrgyz Republic, Almazbek Atambayev, during a press conference dedicated to the closing session of the Supreme Eurasian Economic Council. I hope that already by the 9th of May of next year, right before the anniversary of the Great Victory Day, Kyrgyzstan will become a full-fledged member of the Eurasian Economic Union. For now, the economy of Kyrgyzstan is trying out the new conditions of Eurasian integration. Russia and Kazakhstan have allocated $300 million on the realization of the roadmap for Kyrgyzstan's entrance into the Eurasian Economic Union. Currently, a process is underway in the country on equipping the border crossing and customs post with specialized equipment, and certified laboratories are being established. The economy of the country is changing its format as well. Until recently, re-export was one of its main drivers. Today, this sector is being significantly rolled back since it doesn't fit into the framework of the rules and interests of Eurasian integration. The new economic union was created precisely for supporting local producers and exporters. We're getting access to a larger market. The prospects of this, of course, are expansion of trade volumes, attraction of investors, and at the same time, improvement in the business climate. Entrepreneurs from Kyrgyzstan will have additional incentives. This will lead to the creation of new enterprises, implementation of new and effective technologies, as well as further development of already existing production sectors. Thankfully, the functioning of the industry of processing agricultural products as well as industrial production of non-food products have not been disrupted completely. Legprom, for example, which was able to grow not due to, but despite governmental policies, etc. Trade and economic relations of the country will also get a boost from joining the Eurasian Economic Union within the framework of border cooperation. In the last couple of years, trade turnover between Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan has been exceeding $1 billion on a steady basis. From the entire volume of exported goods, Kyrgyzstan supplies its neighbors with 90% of dairy products and 56% of fruits and vegetables. A large volume of trade is being conducted with the Almaty, Zhambul, and South Kazakhstan regions. This entails great prospects for the development of the agricultural sector. There are also good prospects for the development of the sewing industry. In the meantime, 100% of its wheat, 97% of flour, 70% of mineral resources, and 53% of their non-organic chemical products are imported by Kyrgyzstan from Kazakhstan. Other spheres of the economies of both republics also benefit from Kyrgyzstan's integration. Kazakhstan has promised to supply Kyrgyzstan with 1,400,000,000 kilowatt hours this year. In turn, Kyrgyzstan will supply the border regions of Kazakhstan with irrigation water. Another argument in favor of integration is the free movement of labor force within the boundaries of the economic union. In Russia alone, around 1.5 million labor migrants from Kyrgyzstan work. Their contribution to the republic's GDP is almost 40%. Therefore, from the public to the private spheres of the economy, it is expected that entrance into the Eurasian Economic Union will bring a wind of positive changes for Kyrgyzstan, Bakhit, Chermashev, Bishkek, exclusively for single market. Economic integration is a long and arduous process. The Eurasian Economic Union is no exception to this. In order for the business communities to be able to build their plans and operate under predictable conditions, a common legal framework has to be established. Today, this is the task of the Eurasian Economic Commission. Our crew reports from one of the off-site sessions of the Commission. The Eurasian Economic Commission is a supranational regulatory body of the Eurasian Economic Union. Its main scope of activities encompasses macroeconomy, customs, currency, and competition policies on the territories of the member countries. For example, one of the key components of competition policy is the exhaustion principle of rights to intellectual property. This concerns the rights to a particular label or brand. Before the creation of the Eurasian Economic Union, Russia, Kazakhstan, and Belarus used the national exhaustion principle of rights. This principle made provision for the free movement of goods within the boundaries of one country. However, import of brand name goods could be done only with the permission of the holder of the brand name. Today, countries of the Eurasian Economic Union, following the example of the European Union, employ a regional principle. This means free movement of goods within the confines of a specific region. At the same time, parallel import is prohibited. It's good that we are working together. In a single economic space, goods that enter the Kazakhstani market from Southeast Asia can easily enter the markets of Russia and Belarus. According to some business communities, this prohibition on brand name goods complicates the operations of their businesses. For example, without the permission of an official distributor, they cannot sell specific auto parts in their respective countries. If some company in Belarus or in Russia registers their right to a specific brand name, and for example, we already have the rights to this brand name here in Kazakhstan, then we have a conflict. During the visiting session of the Eurasian Economic Commission, which was held in Almaty, a proposal was made to introduce a hybrid or mixed principle of exhaustion of regional and international rights. If, while maintaining the regional exhaustion principle of rights, we are able to correct some conflicting situations on various markets, whether it is auto parts or detergents or something else, through targeted recall and to apply international exhaustion principles of rights, then I think this should satisfy business communities as well. Despite these serious arguments, there are those who oppose this proposal. They believe that a mixed principle will lead to the development of parallel import. I think that today we should be discussing not the organization of parallel import, but the common industrial policy. The final decision on the policy for the protection of intellectual property rights within the territory of the Eurasian Economic Union will be made next year. It is expected that owing to the changes in the Economic Union Agreement, small and medium businesses of the member countries will get a second wind. Monopoly companies will have to curb their appetites. IDC, one of the most respectable research companies in the world, is considering cloud computing technologies as an integral part of the third information platform. It should be reminded that PCs represent the first platform and Internet the second. Let us turn to our special correspondent, Alexander Galiev. Cloud computing technologies are drastically changing our world. Many users store their data and edit their photos using various cloud applications. The cloud market is slowly taking over the world. However, Kazakhstan, despite the abundance of cloud technology services, is not in a hurry to keep pace with IT innovations. Some of the local cloud startups, having failed to achieve a solid client base and get returns on their investment, have been forced to shut down. One such example is the fate of the startup Planeta Uchota, or Accounting Planet. This startup shut down its operations last year. According to local specialists here in Kazakhstan, we are 2 to 3 years behind the market trends. Nevertheless, experts are giving quite a high assessment to the growth potential of cloud technology services in Kazakhstan, around 100% annually. Introduction of just one SaaS model, software as a service, will allow to significantly cut costs. because in that case, enterprises will not buy expensive software products as it will be possible to rent them. Large companies of Kazakhstan are already establishing their own network of data processing centers. For example, Kazakh Telecom's load of these centers is almost 60%. The company has already made about 1 billion tenge on these services. Currently, we have 16 data processing centers scattered across the territory of Kazakhstan, which we're using to provide cloud technology services. The total area of these data centers is more than 2,700 square meters. Cloud computing is a new paradigm, the digital world, which has already reworked the landscape of information technologies all across the world. Kazakhstan is just getting ready for this new step, and regardless of what the skeptics say, it is precisely the cloud which will make information technologies more democratic, allow companies to cut costs, and finally make the evolutionary leap on the market of IT technologies. The main sectors of the raw materials industry, oil, gas, and ore mining, are still of high priority for the economy of Kazakhstan. However, within the context of contemporary times, their strategy is changing. In order to ensure stable development of these sectors, the government is proposing to implement a cluster approach. The cluster strategy consists of the comprehensive and effective organization of all the production processes. It can be presented with the use of the 3 C's model: concentration of production within a specific territory, cooperation of enterprises, organizations, and establishments, all working on a common goal, and the third component, competitiveness. This is the main aim of all the production enterprises which implement a cluster approach. The flag bearer of Kazakhstan's metallurgy industry, Kazzinc, is no exception. The structure of the holding encompasses more than 20 integrated branch-based divisions, each of which, on the basis of horizontal links, unites a number of manufacturers and organizations. A large share of enterprises is located in the South Kazakhstan region. Among them is the largest enterprise, the Oskimian Metallurgical Complex. Operations of this enterprise commenced with a search for mineral resources. Today, the total area on which geological exploration works are being conducted comprises more than 4,000 square kilometers. Simultaneously, reassessment, detailed exploration, and exploitation of ore fields are being conducted. The next link, ore fields, Kazzinc extracts ore in the East Kazakhstan region from the Tishin, Ritter, Sokol, Maliev, and other deposit fields. After extraction, zinc concentrates are delivered to the Ritter Metallurgical Complex. The zinc, gold, and copper concentrates are sent to the plants of the Oskimian Metallurgical Complex. These concentrates, fuel, and flux metal are delivered to us in train wagons. In this department, we unload the wagons into corresponding cells. Later, these materials are stocked into piles and delivered to the furnace. In these furnaces, not only are non-ferrous metals produced, such as zinc, lead, and copper, but with the implementation of complex processing, also rare and precious metals. Production of metals entails not only processing and extraction, but also a well-organized transport infrastructure. With the example of this plant, you can see how railroad and highway lines all form a unified transport system. This enterprise has its own car fleet, railroad and highway lines, rolling equipment, and repair shops. In order to ensure a stable power supply, the long-term rental agreement has been reached on the exploitation of the Buktarmin hydropower station. A corporate system of preparing specialists ensures a steady labor supply. What's more, the enterprise is cooperating with the Eastern Kazakhstan State Technical University. Out of the entire pool, we choose 2 to 3 of the most promising employees. We send their requisite to the educational centers, and an agreement is signed on their further training. Today, the world market of non-ferrous metals is experiencing tough times. The crisis is also affecting this industrial giant. However, the cluster approach for the organization of production, while bringing a number of benefits, is helping the company to stand strong and plan its further development. That's all for today. My name is Pavel Koktishev. As a reminder, all the episodes of our program are available on www.kazakh-tv.kz.